You're watching Business Connections Live. Great to have your company. Steve Hyland with you today. My guest on today's show is Elaine Frostman-Clarke. She is the founder and director of EFC Performance. We're talking about all things when it comes to leadership performance, how to measure it, how to see how good you are today, and then also to look into the future and see how good you're going to be once Elaine's been talking to you and she's trained you and she's maybe identified some of the issues within your organisation.
I think there's two different things here. One is around leadership and one is around coaching. Not necessarily how we see it, but I think how people looking at it probably see it. And I try to say to people, how vested are you in your personal well-being? And they'll say things like, well, you know, I eat very well, or I'm a member of a gym, or I cycle regularly. Well, isn't that the same as in the business world? How are you working out in terms of your core skills and behaviours as a leader? Teams that we work with, Steve, there's a lot of misconception about teams, and they see the team as the problem, and it's not. It's the leading of the team that is the problem. But sadly, people don't see that. They don't feel that their own behaviours are directly reflected through the team. So if you've got a poorly performing team, guess what? You've probably got a very ineffective leader. How do we start to sort that out? And very often, when we start doing some real digging around, some exploratory questioning, it's very often the people at the top. Hang on, you mean it's us, the board? But we thought we'd got things so right. So what we try to do is allow them to come into their business, and we'll sign NDAs if they want us to, and we observe some of their people who they think the problems lie with. So DISC is one of many profiling tools that are available on the market today. We like to think that this is probably one of the best, if not the best. It's certainly a market leader in its field, and Wiley Publishing own the rights to everything DISC. When we bring people into a workshop, when they've done DISC assessment, and we then go through how the profile works and what it actually means, how do they use it in a practical sense. Very often the comments are, I can't believe that you've got all that information from me just doing an online assessment. So what it won't do is churn out 40 questions that are exactly the same to both of us. It looks very quickly for very specific patterns, and therefore it becomes very intuitive, and that's why when people read their reports they are quite staggered at the accuracy of the report. So I am Elaine Frostman-Clarke, and I am the founder and director of EFC Performance Limited. We pride ourselves on going into organisations to help leaders be better leaders, and therefore the people who those leaders are responsible for become better people. And we do that through a combination of different techniques. So we look at coaching. How do we make leaders better coaches? Because through coaching you can really have an impact on transformation. We also use profiling tools, so we extensively use everything DISC, which looks at the core behaviours of the people within your organisation. And it's not about putting people into boxes, it's about understanding this is how I function, here are my core my core behaviours to bring value to the organisation. But how do I now need to adapt those behaviours? What do I need to learn about pushing myself out of my comfort zone? We also then take that another step further, and we will bring teams and leaders into various workshops. So that's a bit of the tell. It's giving new tools, new techniques, new ideas, new ways of thinking to really leverage the effective leadership across the organisation. And then the final thing we do is teach teams how to be teams. How do you produce a more cohesive team? How do you leverage some of the real core behaviours to make that team high performing? So if any of those things resonate with you currently, that you're not coming from a place of being broken, but you want to increase the effectiveness of leadership and the effectiveness of team performance, then you can drop us a line at efcperformance.com.